Okay, let me share my screen here. So I opened the Man Studio already. So I'll connect to the server now. So I'll go to view here on the menu bar. So I'll get Object Explorer. So okay. So let me go and click on this connect. I'll go to this database engine. So I've got server name and I'm connecting through SQL Server authentication. Login is SA. I'll give password here. Okay, and encryption is mandatory, and the server certificate, trust server certificate, I have checked that is enabled. Click on connect here. So here we'll go to this, click on this database. So in the last chapter we create some database like DB 1502 2025. Let's select the database and click on this new query here. So we have already created. So now when I have connected to this database, right, I've connected to the database and I've clicked on new query window. If you see here, I'll show you once again. Go to this, I've selected, so just see here, I've selected this database name and I'm clicking on this new query window. Click on this. So you see in the before this execute, beside this execute button, there is a drop down here and you see that it is showing the database that you have selected. So this query window is connected to this database, right? So what we'll do is here is we'll go and create say table. So what is a table? So table is used to store data in the form of rows and columns, right? It is similar to Excel. In Excel, how do you store the data in the form of rows and columns, right? Right. So now, so let's go and create a table. Okay. So we have some T-SQL command syntax here. Syntax. So this will make use to create a table. To create a table. We'll make it. So let me go and create that. Create table and give the table name. Table name. Right? So open bracket, open parenthesis here, small bracket, and here I'm closing it. So here you just create table and you give your own table name, what table name. Now in this bracket, you need to give the column names and data types. So column name 1, now data type like this. So you go and create how many columns you wanted. So column name 2, data type. Now column name 3, data type. Column name 4. So name 4, now data type. Okay. Like this, you go and keep on creating it here. So dot here. How many number of columns you wanted, just go there. And then I'm telling here like column underscore name n and data type. Right? Here. So now the question is how many columns you can create per table. So the question is, so this is a syntax to create your, so you need to give your own column names and data types. We'll talk what are the data types here. So how many columns you can create? How many columns you can create per table? So you can go and create 1024 columns per table. You can have this. Okay. So right now, so what you know column name, right? So column name, you give some column. So I want to create some employee table. So what did you want to, so what column names you want to give? So example, you want to store information related to employee. So you have employee ID, employee first name, employee middle name, employee last name, or so like this. So you want to give something called, so you want to store So let me go and open one more query window right here. So I want to store information, store data of employee. So what data would have for employee? So you'll have some employee ID, employee underscore first name. I'll take this as column names, employee underscore middle name, employee underscore last name, and employee underscore date of birth. So employee underscore gender, employee underscore email ID, employee underscore address one, employee underscore address two, right? Then employee underscore city, employee underscore state, employee underscore country. Then I want to have employee underscore contact number, that is phone number. So I want to store this type of data. So I want to create the columns of like this for employee. So right. So I will go. So I'll take columns like this for creating. So here, what do you mean by data type? So example, let's go here. Let's go to the Excel. I'll open Excel here. Let me open this Excel. Okay. So I'll create. So I want to have something called employee underscore ID, employee underscore first name, employee underscore middle name, employee underscore last name, employee underscore some DOB, date of birth, then employee underscore sex, employee underscore address one, okay, employee underscore address two, employee underscore city, employee underscore state, employee underscore country, employee underscore phone number. So like this, I want to create columns in a table, right? You can see here. So I'm creating this columns here. So this is how I want to go and create the columns here. So first name, middle name, right? Then last name, then DOB, sex. So you have address one, you have address two, then right, state, country, phone number. So this is how you have. So right. So these are the columns that I want to create in a table. So this column will hold some data, right? So I'll have some employee one. I'll have then I'll have here Srikanth. So I don't have middle name. So last name is Manda. So data, but some you give something. So 1999 01 25, right? Then sex, male, address one. So you give some address. So I'll give address one only here. So here address one, address two, city, Hyderabad, right? State, Telangana, country, India. So mobile number 9032824467. So here each column is holding some value, right? If you see your ID, EMP ID 1, it is holding numeric. If you go first name or middle name, last name, it is holding some text data. If you go to this date of birth, it is holding date like a month, day, month, year, and you see here it is holding some data. So for this, when you want to have, when you're storing some data into that column, so what type of value is stored in there? So is it stored numeric, or it is stored text, or it is storing the date value? So you need to say while creating column, you should say what type of value it will store. Unity. So that is called as data type. So here you are going to go and tell the data type here. What type of data type you are going to hold. So based on that data type of a column, you will be able to insert that value into that column. Okay, so we have some few data types here. So let's talk on the data type here. Okay, so you can see here data types. So we have different data types in SQL Server. You see here integer. So integer has got again four subcategories in this. We have got tiny int. So that will store the values from 0 to sorry, it will so this tiny int data type can store only values from starting from 0 to 255. So 1, 2, 3, 4, then 252, 253, 254, 255. So ranging from starting from 0 till 255. Similarly, from when you go to small int, it can store negative values also, but within this range only, minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. Similarly, if you go to int, so it is storing around some 214 crores minus to plus 214 crores plus value begin. So you have so if at all your what value you are storing, if at all you are store you have you want to store only the value between 0 to 255, then you go with big int, sorry, tiny int. So you know that because while creating database, you'll know what value you are able to store there. So you are able to store, it's only that to store only before between less than 255, then go for tiny int. No, you want to store the value beyond 10,000 also, then beyond 10,000, but less than 30,000, then go with this. And here you have, if at all you want to store if at all you want to store beyond lakhs, crores, then you go for this minus 214 crores to plus 2014 crores. So here you see such a big value. So this all comes with experience. So when you're designing the table, you'll come to know what value is going to get stored, right? So you have this data. Now you see, so this is for purely for storing integer values, not decimal. It's not decimal value, only for integer values. Now coming back to this, if you see here, there is character data type. Again, character data type is divided again into six subcategories here. That is char, envarchar, varchar, envarchar, text, and in-text. So when you see here, so here char and envarchar. So it can only store max size of the column, max size of varchar data type is 8,000 and max size of nvarchar is also 8,000, but it can only store when you go to varchar, it can store 800 characters. But when you go to this nvarchar, which is max size is 8,000, but it can only store 4,000 characters. So what characters? So you can store anything what you have in a keyboard, including special characters, numbers, or the keyboard, that is ABCD alphabets also. So if at all you want to store beyond 8,000 characters, then you need to go with text or in text. So now you might have got here you have char, envarchar. Yeah, sorry, you have got char, char, varchar, envarchar, text, and in text here. What is the meaning of that? Why you have char? Why you have in care, why you have varchar. So what is the purpose of a char and in care? What is the purpose of a varchar and varchar? What is the purpose of text and in text? So there is some there is something to understand this. We'll talk on this as we go on. Okay? In the next lecture, we'll talk. So now you want to store data types here. So date. So this can store date, like you can go 2025 02 some 15. So this will store like YY, right? DT format. So here this will store hours, minutes, seconds, milliseconds. Okay. So this is only used to store date. This is to store date time. So time, not date time. This is to store date time also, these three. So we'll talk what is that. Now, when you come to decimal values, we have four different types. So, example, you have price, price of a product. right? So this would be some 12.5. Or commission, you have something called, you have something 125.50. So you have sales, so you have around some 199.99. So you have decimal values. So those type of decimal values can be stored in these decimal data types. So apart from this, so majorly you will use these data frequently, but there are other data types also. We'll talk on this as we go on. But in the next video, we'll talk about why char is there, in where char is there, why char, in char, varchar, invarchar, text, in text, and here we have datetime to datetime offset to. What is that? We'll talk, and we'll slowly go on key enhancing the videos here. I hope you have understood what are different data types and what is the purpose of this. So these data types are used so based on these data types you define on the column. Based on this only, you will be able to store the value into that particular column. So this plays a major role. So I hope you have understood what are data types. I think this might have you might have felt you might have understood these data types, and you might have learned something. So if at all you feel like it's very good learning, then please subscribe my video and pass this information to other people so they'll be able to learn from this YouTube channel. Thank you.